How do we normally start podcasts? Do we?
We just like get in the car and start talking, and you start recording.
Okay. Well, if that's the case, how's it going, Tube Tech students?
You might want to cut out like all of what I said while you were going.
No. How's it going, Tube Tech students? I don't know what you said. Now I'm scared.
I don't know what I said either. I was just kind of like rambling.
Welcome to season 2 of the Just Talk podcast. Now,
season 2?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Now,
where's the mic at?
Oh, it's right.
I was trying to figure out when you were gone. I just couldn't find it.
There,
Why is it behind the computer?
I don't know, because like if it's behind the computer...
You forgot to close the door all the way again.
Did I?
Yep.
I hate this room.
You're the one who booked it.
You know what? Next time I'm not going to procrastinate and actually get... No, but the thing is, when I called earlier, they said that the other rooms were booked at the exact same time. So where is everyone?
Nice.
They lied to me specifically. Anyway, the theme of last season was just talking and being as vulgar and offensive as we possibly could.
And it hasn't changed.
Hopefully it has, because we need to actually get monetized this season. But the theme of this season is going to be interviews and special guests. And boy, we're starting off this season with a bang.
We probably shouldn't have started off strong, because now people are going to think it's like, are they going to be on the same level each time? We're going to just get some people we're friends with.
Little did you know, next podcast, I've scheduled an interview with Christopher Sabat.
Have you now?
Yeah, I've scheduled an interview with Mr. Popo and Kami.
Mr. Popo,
get this ointment. Come here. So yeah, I probably just dated this by mentioning the Funimation leaks, but that's cool.
I mean, to be fair, we are talking about it kind of late anyways, just because, like, whatever.
That is true. Also, unlike the car, we face the disadvantage of not having any sort of air conditioning in this room.
I mean, it's not that hot in here.
It's about to get hot with all the talking we're about to do.
You say that, but I don't think that's true.
According to my mother, I have hot breath.
Just brush your teeth.
Oh man, this podcast is getting off to a great start. But anyway, yeah, as you've seen in the title, our very first guest this season is going to be Mike Pollock, the voice of none other than Dr. Agman.
I thought you were going to say Knuckles. The voice of Knuckles.
The voice of Knuckles the Hedgehog from the titular series Crash Bandicoot. I know he's voicing some other things, which I probably should have looked up because. But
he voiced the narrator from Pokemon.
He was a narrator from Pokemon. He was one of the rats in a knockoff film called
keep rambling for a bit.
Called Ratatouille. He was Dr. Agman, as I said before. That's probably
Sonic X, Sonic Boom, TMNT.
Oh yeah, he was Eggman in Sonic Boom. I don't know how I forgot about that. I just said he was Eggman, but I didn't think about Sonic Boom. Who else did he play?
A lot.
Okay, so wow,
a lot of Pokemon.
He was in a lot of Pokemon. Wouldn't it be great if you looked it up and it was like Cat Noir in the French dub of Miraculous Ladybug?
I looked at this and I thought it was Light Yagami saying about Yu-Gi-Oh! Saying about Yugi.
Wait, who did he voice in Yu-Gi? Oh well, he is a 4Kids voice actor, so that makes sense. So if you think of anything from 4Kids, he was probably in that show. It's almost time for us to meet up with him, so we will definitely be back after the interview portion is done. Hopefully we don't make a fool of ourselves. Hopefully Big Mac doesn't escape. That's my number one fear with this with this interview. Don't show me his face. It's scary enough.
Dr. Eggman. What did he do in Yu-Gi-Oh?
I mean, he was a 4Kids actor, so it would make sense. Oh, does it not say who? It just says what he was in?
Yeah, I had to look up on Jean-Louis Bonaparte.
Oh, you can just... Wait, why don't we just go on Behind the Voice Actors? That's like our favorite website to go on.
Our?
My favorite thing to go on.
He did Mayor Fink, too, really? Wow.
Wait, who?
Mayor Fink.
From Sonic Boom?
Yeah.
Wow. This man is a jack of all trades.
I'm just a person.
As you can tell, we are terrified.
Oh, very terrified.
I'm terrified.
I don't know how to speak to people in general. Now I have to speak to, like, someone who's a professional in the profession I'm trying to go in.
Why is his contact and why is his contact info on Behind the Voice Actors? 166 characters. Tell you what, we have approximately 15 minutes or 13 minutes before it's time for us to embarrass ourselves.
Yeah.
Well, let's just go through and see some of the characters that he voiced. He was Oh man, he was Eggman in Team Sonic Racing? Dude.
That joke never got old.
This man's legit. This man might be as good as Tara Strong. I'm not going to finish that joke how I want to because of the theme of this season. But just know if any one of you listeners out there listen to season 1, you know how I want to finish that joke. He was Liz and the Blue Bird.
Drayden,
really? He's in Liz and the Blue Bird. That's the movie that I need to sit down and watch. What is up with Drayden's beard? I don't know who that is, but
Pokemon Drayden.
what's up with his beard?
It's a beard. It's a manly beard.
That ain't right. That's all times are wrong. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. He's the orc general.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
That's
I didn't
who
see
he
the
is.
dub of it, but wow.
He's Eggman in Sonic Forces. Bonji from Pokemon the movie I Choose You. I think that's Ash's dad, right? Or I think that's who they said it was supposed to be.
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
It was a good movie. It's the one where Pikachu talked for some reason.
Yeah, I know. They made Pikachu's voice a girl, even though he's an actual guy.
Well,
He did Volcanion too.
Oh my god! You know what? I was about to play. I was about to play it out, but I know we wouldn't be able to hear it. So we'll listen to it after the podcast.
We're not gonna remember.
Gadget Gang. I guess that's a spinoff of Inspector Gadget. Oh, he was Eggman Nega? You know, I really should have expected that. You know, a part of me...
I want to say something. You can't restrain me.
You can't hold me back.
Oh,
The Nega Chins! Oh, gosh. It's okay, because we're actually... Oh, he was Fastidious Beaver?
Yeah.
No way, dude! Oh, dude!
No way!
I'm on my way! Oh, who voiced Dave the Intern?
I don't know.
There's Eggman. There's
What? Like Porky Pig. There's egg.
There's Eggman hitting a. There's Eggman hitting a sick dab right there.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he
He's
is.
skating.
He was in Berserk. Didn't watch that. Robocar Polly. Don't know what that is. Bakuman. That sounds like Bakugan. Sonic Free Riders. Oh, he's rocking that suit. Man, there's a lot of Eggman here. What is Kikoriki or Gogoriki?
How did you manage to... What?
See, it says Kikoriki and Gogoriki. There's two names. I'm not stupid. Viva Pinata, Trouble in Paradise.
Viva Pinata used to slap, bro.
I never played the games, but I wanted to.
Eggman nigga once again.
Yo, Eggman's smile is like precious. That's the rat's name. His name was Greg from Ratatouille.
Hey, shake the leg.
It's Mr. Greg. Oh, can we get an interview with Mr. Greg's voice actor? Greg Universe.
Mr. Greg's voice actor, Greg Universe, obviously.
Who voices Greg Universe? We need to get him on the Just Talk
You said
podcast.
as if you're not on a computer right now.
Sonic X Leapster. What? You know what? Sure. He was Ella?
I need to go back and rewatch Sonic X. I need to hear it.
So that means he was hitting on himself. Well, I mean, not Mike Pollock, but Eggman was hitting on himself. Dang. Wow. Mike Pollock, you are just a man of, like, many talents. I love your voice. You know, I'm saying this now because there's no way I'll be able to actually say it to his face.
I thought that was miraculous for a second.
He is the voice of the titular character, Cat Noir.
Titular character, oh. I mean, I guess his name is in the title, but I mean...
Yeah, it's...
As a subtitle, maybe.
No, see, it's called Miraculous Tales of Cat Noir.
You're right.
Okay, so who voices, what character was it?
Mr. Greg.
Who voices Greg Universe? Let's hope the sound is actually recording, because we've had a pretty good start to this. I shake a leg. It's Mr. Greg. Tom Sharpling. Let's get him on the Just Talk podcast for this for the season 2 finale. I am making that my goal. He needs to be on the Just Talk podcast. I like how I like how we are about to talk to Mike Pollock, and I am already talking about other people I want to be on here. Man, I am just the most ungrateful person. Oh, he's Yellowtail, too. And Zoom and Walla.
Jermaine.
Oh, he was Jermaine. You know, I can hear it now, and I hate it. Oh, well, you know, that's... It's not as an impressive repertoire as Mike Pollock, but...
Because of that, he's never going to want to talk to you ever.
He's like, oh, so I'm not as good as Mike Pollock, huh? Yeah, that's right. I made fun of your stutter. Loser. I will never call you Stewball. No! We either need to get him or the voice of Steven.
I'd be too terrified to talk to Zach Calson just because he's like close to our age.
You know, now that you brought it up, I'm terrified thinking about him. I mean, if we both pick up Fortnite, we can talk to the voice of Gumball.
You're right, but I don't like Fortnite.
You're right. We don't have to play. We can just watch him play while we talk about him. I mean, talk to him.
Watch him play while we talk about him.
Wow, look at this loser playing Fortnite. You suck. Get off our podcast. We have to get all the jokes out now because
Alfred played with him, the voice of Gumball.
See, I have to get all my jokes out now because once we get on this call with him, it's over, son. It's done.
Read over my questions. Make sure they're like decent enough to not embarrass myself.
All right. While I talk about this, you talk about how Mike Pollock affected your life. Just by being Eggman, I guess, if that makes sense.
I mean, I kind of knew him more from narrating Pokemon.
Really?
Yeah.
You're the first person to say that.
I got into Pokemon sooner than I got into Sonic.
Wow, I'm genuinely surprised by that. That's stupid.
Keep coming.
Eggman.
I thought you were gonna read my question. I'm like, well, don't do that. But I just well, Eggman.
But yeah, Mike Pollock made his way into my life by voicing Eggman in Sonic X. And to this day, he's always just been like my favorite voice in the Sonic franchise. The sound can't seep out from the bottom, can it?
I just was on the window.
Alright.
For some reason, I don't know, I just always like Travis Williams Knuckles.
He is a really good Knuckles.
He's a good voice acting.
Dan Green was really good, too. Let's get Dan Green on the Just Talk podcast. We are only going to hit it big. We should get Dan Green on the Just Talk podcast. Who?
Oh, read my questions.
I am. Dang. I just need you to talk. So there's 5 minutes. Oh my gosh, I'm so scared.
What are you doing? Don't you be everything that you want me to go while you're trying to keep me teeny.
And that's how we get a copyright strike, because we were too on par with the song.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
Yes, yeah. Now, you see, this one is stupid. This is the worst question you could ask Mike Pollock.
Now, you can say you are naughty.
You have been a bad girl.
Oh, I hate that.
I like number 6. I wish I had come up with something like that. It's the thing with the thing. I don't want to give it away.
That's what I was. I'm like, okay, so I always have wondered that. I always wondered, do you just like Google search and audition, or do you have like, is there like sites going or something? I don't know.
Dear Mike, what do you think of my latest picture?
You just link them all your Skype pictures.
You're like, what do you think of this picture of
Lola Loud.
Of Lola Loud from the titular show
Lighthouse. The Lighthouse.
Lighthouse.
I do like watching the Lighthouse.
Jesus. All right, guys, it's time for the interview portion of this podcast.
3 minutes. Don't rush me.
No,
please.
you see, no. Now, unfortunately, if you're watching this,
Now, unfortunately, if you're watching this on Diddly Doo Renewed, this is going to be the end of your free trial of the Just Talk podcast.
Free trial?
Yeah, if you want to listen to the full podcast with the interview, you're going to have to check it out on the Dream
Patreon
Team.
or something? Oh.
No, I'm not going to
I
charge.
heard free trials. I mean, if someone hears free trials, they're going to assume, okay, well, what do I have to pay?
The price is subscribing to the Dream Team.
That's a pretty hefty price.
Exactly. So yeah, we look forward to this. And what do you say we go ahead and jump into this? Tiego, I'm scared.
Don't ever say my name like that ever again.
Tiego, I'm scared.
Shut up.
I'm scared. Hello, Mr. Pollock. Should I call him Mike or Mr. Pollock?
Just go with the respect. Hello.
We're ready when you are.
I'm not ready, actually.
In 5, 4, 3, 2. Ready when you. I know, you see, somehow the world will change for me and be so wonderful. Dun, 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 live life, read there. I know somehow we're gonna get there and be so wonderful. Do. It's all for real. I'm telling you just how I feel. So wake up, the members of my nation. It's our. No!
I do not. I thought he was on.
No, you see this? Jesus, Mike, no, please. Ah! Okay. In 5, 4. All right, so that's recording. I guess I have to pull up my list now.
You ask first. Your questions first.
Get back
I
here.
got my head out.
Don't leave. What's wrong with you? Okay, so the audio output capture is going.
Hello.
How you doing?
How are you doing, sir?
Fantastic. Thank you so much. How are you?
I am doing great.
Excellent.
All right. So, first of all, before we start, I just want to go ahead and say I absolutely love your voice talent as Eggman. You've been a big part of my life for years, and I absolutely love the work that you do.
Thank you so much. That makes it all worthwhile.
All right. So, me and my friend Tiego here. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
How you doing?
Hi. Thanks
right.
for joining us. Again.
Okay. So we've come up with some questions here. We made sure to check the FAQ to make sure we didn't double back on any questions. I'm going to go ahead and ask the first one. Like, we understand that in the world of voice acting, you have to take the jobs where you can find them. But in your scenario, has there ever been a series or a franchise that you would have liked to lend your voice to, or is there one now that you would genuinely like to lend your voice to?
All of them. But it's a matter of whether I get to audition for them, and if I audition, whether they cast me for them. But it's not a situation where there's picking and choosing. There's working or not working. And there's all sorts of work that I'm doing, and then there's all sorts of work I'd love to do. And the work I'd love to do is all of it, because I love working.
Nice.
That's actually a really good answer. I like that one. All right.
So I'll take the next question. So for me personally, I would actually love to get into voice acting, and specifically for video games. So I was wondering, because I know a lot of people say that if you want to get into voice acting, it's like a necessity to live in LA. So I was wondering, like, in your circumstance, do you think it's like a hindrance or like something like that to not be in LA, or do you still find good work and everything?
I'm in New York, and there's work in New York, there's work in LA, there's work in Texas, various parts of Texas. But also these days, thanks to the internet, you can do a lot of stuff from home. I prefer to go to places and work in studios rather than do all the stuff I'm doing at home. But if that's the case, you can be in New York, you can be in Texas, you can be in LA if you can. But otherwise, do stuff from home. At least start with stuff. And then if you find that, I'm getting lots of work in New York, I should move to New York. Or I'm getting lots of work from Texas, I should move to Texas. Then consider your options then. But for starting, you can start from pretty much anywhere these days.
And then kind of piggybacking off of what you said, because I know you said you like working in studios and stuff. So when you get jobs, do they usually, like, is it more of do it at home, or from your experience, is it more of go to a studio? Like 9 times out of 10, which one do you encounter more?
I tend to studios more, but it depends on places and their budgets. I work with a couple of clients that are too cheap to rent a studio, and they are quite content with the quality I give them from home or wherever I happen to be. If I'm on my way into the city and find out I have 2 bookings and one of them's in a studio and the other one's from this place, I'll ask the studio, can I borrow a few minutes of your time to record this thing for this other place? Because they need something by the end of the day, and I'm here and you have a studio. And most of the time, they're quite happy to do that. So yeah, I prefer to go to the studio if I can, but every 2 or 3 times a month, I would say, there's something happening from home, and I'm auditioning from home constantly. But as far as work, I prefer to go to a studio, because if you're in a studio, if you're working from home, you're watching the levels, you're watching to make sure everything is properly recording. With a studio, someone else is doing the heavy lifting, and I'm concentrating on performance. It's a lot easier for the talent.
Okay, cool.
All right then. I guess it's time. It's time for another one of my questions. Now, you did answer this like a little bit, but when it comes to going out to record in a studio, has a company ever flown you across the country to record the lines before? And if so, what was that experience like?
Sega has done that a few times for mostly when during the workshopping period of Sonic Boom. A couple of Sonic Boom records that were going to have some behind-the-scenes video things, and that's fun. It's a business trip, so the client will cover travel and lodging and give you some type of meal voucher for every day, and then you show up at the airport all packed and ready to go. You hop a plane, you get to a hotel. The next day, they tell you where to go. Either they send a car for you, or you grab a lift and show up at the studio and record just as I normally would. The main difference when recording Sonic Boom in person versus with me here in New York is that the LA people have to wear headphones to hear me when they're in New York. But if I'm there in the room, we can all listen on one big speaker, where we can listen to the director and the other guys and ladies on the other side of the booth, and we can hear each other just through our ears. So that's something I don't usually get to do when I'm either recording by myself in New York or working in most places where even if you're in the same room, you need headphones to hear the director. So that's a fun little twist. And then sometimes they'll treat you to a lovely meal. Hey, we're all getting together for dinner. Come and join us. And they do, and that's fantastic. And then after the record, pack up, head back to the hotel, and fly out the next day. It's fun. As long as you don't mind the 5-hour flight from New York to LA, or 6 hours, or that part's the worst, but everything else is great.
Hey, play a good movie and I'll be fine.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I'm gonna let Tiego ask a couple of questions, because I have one that I'm gonna save for the end because people are crazy.
Okay.
All right.
But okay. So, when would you say a beginner should when would you say it's a good time to start looking into getting a demo done? And like, as a beginner with like little to no experience or anything, how would you say to go about getting one done in the first place?
If you can invest some money either from your own pocket or find a generous relative to invest in some training, coaching for you. In most cases, coaches will usually offer demo production services. It can kind of work its way into a money grab racket. It's like, well, you need this demo, you need this demo, and this demo, and this demo, and this demo. Oh, and here's all this marketing stuff, and you need this marketing, that marketing. So do some research, find a coach who has more of your best interests at heart. But get your training, get real life experience too. Community theater is a great resource just to learn to become an actor. But once you're focusing on voiceover, there are voiceover coaches who will train. They'll, for a small extra fee, you'll record 1, 2, 3 demos, however many you think you need, and help you market it and get it into the right hands. And it's not about time, it's about whether you're ready to invest in the finances and you have the ability to take the coaching that you're giving and turn it into something. And then if it sounds like you got something that, well, it depends on the coach. Some coach may say, you sound great, when in fact you don't sound great, but you sound great if you give them money. But presumably if you have a coach with some sense of ethics, they'll do an assessment and say, yeah, I can work with you, or no, I don't think there's anything I can do for you. And assuming you find a coach that's more or less on up, then you will eventually get trained into a demo and then send your demo out to the people who need to hear it.
Okay.
That's some good advice right there. All right, you can go.
All right, and then, so like when you're looking to buy like equipment for a home studio, would you suggest like starting small, like getting the basics, or would you suggest just saving up money and getting like the more expensive, high quality equipment first?
Start small because you can start small on the cheap. I still use for my home and travel needs roughly $100 Blue Yeti microphone because it's for the stuff I do and the stuff that the quality that people want. It's perfectly adequate. If they want better, get me to a studio, or if you have your own studio, bring me into your studio. But I have 3 of them because I've got one for here at home, I've got one for our vacation home, and I've got one to pack up in a Pelican hard case and take around the country. And if you find yourself in a hotel room, surround yourself with soft bedding materials, pillows, blankets, towels from the bathroom. Build yourself a pillow fort, cover yourself in a towel. You've got yourself a little temporary recording studio, which as long as the outside of the hotel or outside your hallway isn't really noisy, you've got a perfectly functioning recording facility. And here at home, I've got a space in the attic with some foam up on the ceiling, microphone, music stand, and a fanless laptop, which is as silent as it can be. And that's my home space.
Oh, wow. Okay. Well, yeah, thanks for that. So just
Sure. At this moment, the fanless laptop was the most expensive part of this equation.
oh. All right, so just most of the stuff I'm assuming you can just find on like Amazon or something, right?
Yeah, Amazon is good. If you've got a music store in town, Sam Ash, Guitar Center, those type of places, they have microphones, they have music stands, they have ancillary equipment. But there are places where you can buy sound foam, stuff like that. There's who's the place I like these days? I'll have to look up a place that I would recommend. But yeah, you can find stuff on Amazon. You can find stuff on eBay, and there's a one-stop shop or two that you can find all sorts of things. Let me see. I'm just doing a quick Google search of my own.
We were doing that just before we called.
Keep talking while I type.
We're trying to find out everyone that you voice, and you have a very impressive repertoire of voices.
I'm delighted to work often, and I am always doing new and exciting things. And if I'm lucky, I get to do them as often as possible. So yeah, like a shark, keep swimming, die.
So, do you have any more questions, or can I move on to the last one?
Yeah, I got a couple more. Yeah.
All right.
But yeah, we're just gonna wait for him to finish the
Google search. All right.
You keep looking. I'll get back to you.
But
Keep talking.
What was that?
We said keep talking.
Keep talking. I'm just gonna find this information and get back to you.
Yeah. So I'm gonna steal your question. So, what was like the first kind of like time you were introduced to Mike Pollock's voice?
Me?
Yeah.
Oh, the first time I was introduced to Mike Pollock?
Yeah.
It was, the first time I ever heard his voice was when I was watching Sonic Boom. No, not Sonic Boom.
Oh, that's kind of recent.
No, it was in Sonic X. And before I had watched Sonic X, I played Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. And I noticed a difference in the voices. And when I heard Eggman in Sonic X, I was like, there's something special about this one. I really like this. And then as the series went on, I just fell more and more in love with that voice. And now I can't imagine another Eggman in his place.
Yeah, well, I know for me...
That's very kind.
I know, like I said earlier, for me, it was like I was into Pokemon a lot when I was a kid. So, growing up watching the anime, that kind of stuff, and hearing the narrator in the background is just... like, if you miss an episode or something like that, he'll come up and be like, last time or whatever, this happened, this time. I'm like, oh yeah, I can, catch up now. So something like that, hearing that narrator voice was always like, oh yeah, this is what happened. So I was just always growing up hearing that narrator voice. And then, obviously later on getting into Sonic and that kind of thing, Eggman, the main antagonist pretty much. So it was like, what's Sonic without his Eggman kind of thing. So it was like, yeah.
Cool. And here's that site. This is a fellow voice actor and entrepreneur at voiceoveressentials.com. basically a one-stop shop for mics and isolation equipment and acoustic foam and stands and mounts of various kinds. It runs into money, but you've got a range of budgets you can work with. And it's, if you just want to sit home and shop by mail, he'll do that for you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Well, to end this off, I have one more question. In order to get ready for this interview, I decided to ask online, it's like, is there a question that you would like me to ask on here? And unfortunately, I got a lot of the same question, but I decided to work it in a way where it wouldn't be such a bad question. So I'm pretty sure since you're like online a lot, you've probably gotten requests and stuff to do the Eggman dub lines or whatever, and we all know that, and we've all seen your opinion on that. That's not something that you should be doing with that character's voice. But the question that I wanted to ask was, what was your opinion on that fan dub of Eggman? Like, would you consider it to be funny, or do you think that they went too far with that joke?
My challenge with that sort of thing is that there are legal problems with listening to fan fiction and fan dubs just in general, because it comes under the legal area of unsolicited material, in that if you send a script into Sega or another production company, for example, and months down the line they release a story that's similar to the story you came up with, then it becomes a situation where you can sue them for stealing your material. That's not good. So any fan-related stuff, fan fiction or fan-generated material, let's call it, me hearing is a problem, because then, not that it's likely that Sega will officially release anything like the bits of the dub that I've heard, but that is a real legal possibility that I'm trying to avoid. And then the other thing is, it's just from the years I've been associated, 16 if you're counting, they have provided family-friendly material. So hearing non-family-friendly material coming out of the character's face puts me ill at ease. So it becomes a don't go there situation. So I'm not going there.
All right. Well, it looks like that's all the time we had for you today. I really enjoyed this. This was such a treat to be able to talk to you.
Fantastic. Thanks for asking. Thanks for asking questions, and thanks for the call. This is my pleasure.
Well, thank you.
All right, sir. I'm pretty sure you're a very busy man, so I'll let you get back to work.
Thank you so much. Thanks for everything, and thanks for watching.
All right. Take care. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.
Oh! That's not getting taken out.
I still have one more question.
What was it?
When auditioning for, or like auditioning for a character or whatever, is it more common to like just look at a character and think of a voice, or they have an outline and you do a voice?
Oh, that was the one I told you that I liked. Well, I'll answer it for you. It's
No.
stupid. No.
I need a professional's opinion.
Excuse me. I voice Diddles in the critically acclaimed show.
That was like the one I actually like really wanted to get answered to. This.
Dang! I'm so sorry. But yeah, let's cut back to the actual podcast now.
Hold up, I need to do my clap sync.
I'm gonna have it set up so as soon as you say clap sync in the last recording, it cuts to that.
Like clap sync and then my clap from now.
Yep.
Oh, look at that.
Damn.
Look at that editing.
I'm getting good at editing since Tiego won't do it for me anymore.
Anyways, so as I was saying, so if I'm gonna need like the vote the like the what's the word?
The box?
No, like
The recording?
but the switch is like revolutionary because you can portable. That's what it is.
The LED lights?
No, it's like so if I'm doing like the cheaper, like going cheap and then building up as I get more money, I'm gonna need like at least 200 for the portable thing, and then another 60 for the bag. So it's already like 260.
You see, keep going.
That's about 430.
Dang.
And then does this come with the mic too, or just the?
It only comes with the box.
Like I want to know if it comes with the mic or if it's just like the the portable thing.
It comes with the cord that hooks up to the mic, but you gotta buy the mic yourself.
Yeah, it's just a boot. So, ooh,
How much?
300 for a mic.
Whew.
So I have to have at least like at the very least at least 1,000.
Or you could,
At least 1,000 saved up just to like start. Oh, I need a pop filter too. Oh,
or you could just do it, Mike.
and some headphones. Oh.
Or you could just do what Mike said and get a Blue Yeti mic to hook up to your laptop and start with that.
See, it's another thing. Like everyone's always like, oh yeah, USB mics are complete trash. Don't use Blue Yetis and stuff. But then you got like actual professional saying that it works perfectly fine for what you're doing. So I'm like, I'm gonna just take the professional mic.
Exactly. See, because if I remember correctly, Wesley has a Blue Yeti mic. Wesley, the West Native for people who don't know, not affiliated with the Dream Team because his content is very not family friendly.
Is it really?
No. He's a good Christian
I would
boy.
not expect that at all.
He's walking around throwing N-words left and right. my man is a real life Big Macintosh.
Yeah, so I'm gonna need like a clean like 1,300.
See, and hearing that makes me think, man, I really shouldn't be going to Disney in December.
See, my way of thinking is like, I'm not blowing money. I'm like spending my money on resources I'm gonna need to like just prosper in my work field anyway. So it's like I'm not viewing it as like I'm blowing money. I'm just viewing it as like it's just a work expense basically.
Okay, so in terms of blowing money, how much do you have to want a game for it to not be blowing money on it?
A good bit. Because I will say, like, as you know, Persona 5 is my favorite game, and I've seen people play Persona 4 before, but I never really played a Persona game myself. So I'm just like, I was like, I don't know. But my friend was like hyping it up like to no end, and back then it wasn't on sale when I got it, so it was like $60. So I'm sitting here, I'm like, that's like the normal price of a game. But I'm sitting here, I'm like, I don't know, Persona, I don't know. And then I got it, but still,
And look at
favorite
you now.
game of all time. So I mean, like, I feel like if by the time I finished the game, I enjoyed it like at least like half as much. Not if I enjoyed it like, because like let's say Persona 5 is like a 10 in my book. If I enjoyed it, like if by the end of the game, I'd say I'd give my enjoyment level like an 8 or a 9. I'd say I'd probably spend like a good probably 60, 70 maybe. I don't think I've never spent anything more than 60 on a game in the first place, anyways.
I will say that if the first trailer doesn't sell me on a game, when I officially buy it, I'm gonna feel like I'm wasting my money on it by like.
See, I can't really go by that logic though, because like the first Sword and Shield trailer just wasn't selling me at all.
No, but like in the cases, like let's say Three Houses, I was sold on that
I was
game.
sold I
like immediately.
I mean, I like Fire Emblem anyway, so I mean, I was gonna buy it either way.
And coming from someone who only played Fates and genuinely enjoyed that, Connor, may God rest your soul.
I didn't even finish Fates.
I didn't. Therefore, she's dead.
Elise is never dead.
But anyway, like from the first trailer alone, I saw they were delving into the things I really like about games. I guess
Literally, what Three Houses is, it's just like a Fire Emblem game, but like the calendar system and like the people you interact with and stuff, it's literally just kind of ripped off Persona.
exactly.
So it's
and,
like it's
that's
a Fire Emblem game, Fire Emblem tactics and gameplay and all that stuff, but with like the calendar system and interactions of the Persona game, pretty much.
it's Tokyo Mirage 2.
I never got into Tokyo Mirage just because I didn't know what it was, so I never bought it.
Oh,
But
dude.
now that it's on Switch, I might have to get it.
Dude, when I was sitting down watching Pyro Knight play that game, I
What
was sold.
What exactly is it about, though? I still don't really know what it's about.
Basically, what happens is that pop idols are super popular. Now, I might be messing this up because Pyro played this game like 4 years ago, but I still know that I loved it. And basically, they get something called pop idol in energy, which basically manifests itself as like just for the sake of me not knowing, let's call it a persona, a musical persona. But then creatures from another world come down and like, I'm gonna eat your persona.
Heartless. I
Yeah,
see.
yeah. It's Kingdom Hearts, Sonic the Hedgehog. Now, how is it Sonic Hedgehog? Because you run around the area.
So it's
Yeah, Sonic.
any open world game ever.
Yeah, okay. So I get a lot of flack for this online in gaming forums, and I don't know why. I'm a sucker for open world games. Like, I love...
You need to play Breath of the Wild, then.
Like, I love the fact that someone sat down with a group of people and like, let's just make a world and let them run around in it.
You need to play Breath of the Wild, then.
Like, it's on my list of games to buy, but it's like...
Breath of the Wild is, like, the most open world game I've ever played in my life. Like, literally, if you really wanted to, like, it's not a spoiler. So you wake up, like, the game starts as you waking up from, like, 100-year nap or whatever.
Yeah, I saw the animation.
So, if you really wanted to, you could literally go straight from that cave in your box, and nothing but your boxers.
Straight to Ganon.
Go straight to Ganon and just, like, do that, like... Literally, like, this game, literally, it has no direction. Like, I mean that is a good thing. Like, it has no direction. Like, literally, you can go from the cave and do whatever you want to do. Like, that game is the most open world game I've ever. It's so fun.
If I'm remembering correctly, I think it was Aaron of the Game Grumps who said this game was most like the original game because there wasn't a story in the original Zelda for the NES.
It does have a story. It's just like,
well,
you can
yeah, it
go
does.
about it in any angle. And
But
it'll
it's
still
like,
make sense.
they drop you in the middle of the field and they're like, okay, play our game. And then it's up to you to figure out what you
Pretty
need
much.
or what you want to do. I think he said it was like the most successful direct sequel to Zelda we ever could have gotten.
I'm so hyped for this Breath of the Wild 2, though, whenever that comes out.
Everyone's saying that Ganon in that game is going to be a good guy, and I don't know how I feel
I
about
haven't
that.
done any kind of research on it.
Well, I mainly get my research from people on Twitter, and I know that's not a credible
That is
source.
not a credible source.
But especially since most of the Twitter mites have come from Tumblr now.
I mean, yeah, because Tumblr's not NSFW anymore.
Oh yeah, they put a heavy ban on that, and then everyone's like, "Hey, can I come on here?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." Now suddenly, pedophilia is a sexuality, and I'm just like, why would you bring this here?
LGBT.
Why would you not keep this where you were? Leave that on Tumblr to die. Don't bring this here. Dang. But
yeah, Breath of the Wild it's such a good game.
like every time I see gameplay and footage of it, like I have to get it. But then I walk into GameStop and I see it on the shelf. I'm like,
Bro, there is so much cool stuff you can do. Like some of your runes or whatever, it's like you can like freeze an object and like hit it, and when it unfreezes, it'll have all the momentum. It'll have all the momentum when you hit it or whatever. So you can literally like chop down a tree, freeze it, just whack it for like a good 10 seconds, hop on the tree, and then you'll just fly across the world. Like there's so much cool things you can just do in that game.
yeah, like I've seen so much gameplay of it, and I'm like, this game is something I would love. But then I see the case at GameStop, and I'm just like, I don't know. Tough Puppy is like, no, I'm sorry. Paw Patrol is like,
yeah, it's only a good $22.99.
Ooh. Breath of the
the
Wild.
whole 60.
I can't believe we live in a timeline where a Paw Patrol video game on the Switch
It's worth more than a
costs
Dragon Ball game.
more than Sonic Forces.
Does it actually?
Yes.
How much is Sonic Forces?
It's like $40. And Paw Patrol is running a good 60.
Well, anyways, still on the subject of games, since I can't stop talking about it. Persona 5 more.
Hey man,
that's a
just
game.
go ahead and talk about games. I'm going to talk about my favorite game series that I wish would get the Persona treatment, and by that I mean continuously working on it.
Really? So by that you mean like they're gonna forget its parent series and only focus on that series?
No, well, probably. But the thing is,
Like Persona is a spin-off, so I mean like.
But the thing is that there's a game series. Since we talked to Mike Paul, let's talk about a Sega game that I really like. Sega, as you know, Sonic is their flag.
Knights?
Damn it! Wait, you know what? That's
not. I mean, that's not really like that's not.
Shadow Sister said it, so I can say it.
Exactly.
And Mike Pollock.
You know what? Let's get Shadow's voice actor.
You know what? Absolutely. Okay. Speaking of voice actors, before I talk about Knights, I saw it on your phone when you were looking up the website. What are the chances of getting voiceover Pete on the podcast? Do you not know who he is?
No.
Oh, he's just he's a dude who was doing all the memes. Like, I think it might have been this year or last year's. Memes have destroyed my sense of time. But he was the one. He's like, attention, all Fortnite gamers.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fun fact. I was like, this man is just a meme. He's not for real. I looked up on TV the other day. He was doing an actual commercial for a hospital. And I was like, oh my god. Mike was right. Just do it. But
So I don't know why. I don't know why it's stuck with me. But like I was watching a like an old like 8-10 year video or something like that of Troy Baker at a convention.
who does he voice?
So
Dang.
he does Joel in Last of Us. He does Kanji in Persona 4. You probably don't know that. But I'm actually upset I can't think of anyone off the top of my head.
Toph?
Yes, he does talk from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Yep.
Yes. But anyways, so yeah, I was watching an interview with him, and it was an interview. It was just like a Q&A thing at a panel at a convention. But he was like saying how he got into voice acting and stuff. He's like, yeah, I was 25. I was just recording some music in a studio with some friends. And then it was like, and it happened to be like the same studio where they were like, recording some commercials or whatever. So he was just like, hey, let me do commercials. So they're just like, okay. So
Let me do a commercial. No.
he was like kind of joking about it. He was just like, yeah. So and it's just like, consistency. You kept doing it, and eventually someone's like, hey, I want to use your voice for this. So I was like, sure, why not? In addition, got the part, and it was just consistency and all that stuff. I don't know why, but something he said just like stuck out to me like a whole lot for some reason. He just basically is like, when you're on audition, just don't be afraid to just make a complete idiot out of yourself, because that's basically what the job is.
Brian said the same thing, didn't he?
Yeah, but I heard it from Troy Baker first.
You know what? Brian stole that from Troy Baker.
Oh, obviously. But I don't know why that stuck out to me so much. Just probably because I'm the most self-conscious person in the world. But like,
I almost said
that
Troy Bolton.
yeah, he voiced Troy Bolton from High School Musical 1, 2, and 3.
He was dubbed. He was dubbed over the entire
Troy Bolton
film
actually was dubbed in the first High School Musical.
Oh yeah.
And,
oh yeah, you're right.
His singing voice was like too low or something like that, so he had to get Drew Seeley to do a singing voice.
Man, my man's couldn't sing.
But yeah, I don't know why, but I kind of know why. It's just because, as I said, I'm insecure.
Boy.
But yeah, it just stuck out to me. Just like, yeah.
I will say, I can kind of piggyback off of that, because being self-conscious actually kind of helped me develop my main voices. And I know that we joke about this a lot, how I only have 4. But the thing is that
it's true.
you see, some of the best jokes are based off reality, and that's true, because I do only have so I have more than 4. I have more than 4 voices.
All right, tell me what the difference between Yuri and Papyrus is right now.
Okay.
Tell me the difference.
Okay, so Papyrus. Okay, so Papyrus, actually, I try to give him more of an accent when I talk when I use his voice. But with Yuri, I use the same voice. So anyway,
it's just Joe and Kronk. That's what it is.
It's just Mr. Incredible and Kronk. But dying. But dying. But shut up, phone. So. Being self-conscious actually helped me develop those voices, and that's why I have such an attachment to those 4, because so I didn't, as much as I like doing skits and stuff on YouTube when I first started, something changed in me where I started becoming more self-conscious online. It might have been from the numerous comments calling me a female. And they weren't saying I was a good-looking female either. It was like, man, you have a chest.
Well, now you know how females feel whenever all men do is stare at their chest.
Look here, you liberal.
Now, look here.
No, but I can kind of like piggyback off of that. Like, I know especially when I was younger, like I've always just loved theater and like theatrical arts in general. I don't know why.
And then, and then your parents made fun of you for it, and then
not my mother. But
and then you joined the basketball team, but you're like, no, I have to be in theater. Get your head in the game. Get
copyright.
No.
But yeah, I don't know why. I just always had a knack for like theatrical arts and theater and that kind of thing. So I would be in like a lot of school plays and that kind of thing, and then like when my mom, she used to teach Sunday school and stuff, and I would always just like skip church and she used to teach a youth church or children's church or whatever.
Did she?
Yeah, back in the day.
I don't remember
But so I always used to like skip the church service and just go to her class and just like act out the scene or whatever from the book that she was doing. It was like a nice bonding moment with my mother. We would just like act out some stuff or whatever.
Okay, pause, but that sounds like super cute.
I mean, I was maybe like 7, 8, so I mean like.
Dang, that's adorable. Pause.
That's a hefty pause for me, but
super pause. That's
so I saw Griffey's video so he came to the last word in the argument. Fantastic! Super fantastic!
Get out!
But yeah, so I just always loved like acting and theater and stuff in general. But then I grew up. I went into middle school. And middle school was full of bullies.
Right?
Middle school was full of bullies.
Middle school okay. Wait. Just
act like the microphone is on.
It helps me talk. But anyways, but like everyone makes films about high school like, oh man.
Bro, middle school is where the bullies at.
High school sucks, there's bullies and cliques and all that.
Yeah, I feel like there is, but like
where is my horror film about middle school, dude?
I had so many friends in elementary school that completely did a 180 when we got to middle school. I don't know what happened.
Middle school it's probably because most of the actors who look like they're in middle school can't act to save their lives.
See, I would say middle school sucked the most because that's when I got bullied the most. But at the same time, that is like my middle school years is like the only time I was like sane enough to actually try and talk to a female. So I mean, like,
females are scary, dude.
They are. Like middle school is like really the only time I actually could talk to a female, like actually do that. But like, anyways, I was just saying. So yeah, I used to do all like acting and stuff. Like I don't know. I just always like acting and stuff. And then
I talked about nights.
We'll get to it after my story.
Dying.
But yeah. Then middle school happened. I don't need the mic.
Okay.
And then middle school happened, and then friends who I thought were friends aren't friends, and people in general, they're just like, look at you, you're fat, you're ugly, ha ha ha. I'm just like, dang. And then
it's like, dang.
That got to me mad hard. Like that hit me.
That got you mad hard, dude.
Oh yeah, people call me fat and ugly, bro. That's my fetish. But but yeah, like it was like the thing is, it's like, yeah, it was the fact that like random people said it, but also at the same time it's like people you thought like were what you were good with and everything. They're just like turn around and saying it. It's like, well, I thought we were friends like a few months ago. What happened? And then it's like, yeah. So then that's when I'm like, because I used to tell my parents all the time like, yo, I want to be an actor. And they're like, why? Like I was like, why? Do a sport or something. And then my mom's like, do what you want, kid.
Are you bro? Go do a sport or something, boy.
So like, I was always like, yo, I want to be an actor. My father's like, shut up and go play sports. So, yeah, but yeah. So I wanted to be like an on-screen actor at first, and then middle school happened, and I realized that wait a minute, I am fat. I'm not the most attractive person, I'll admit. I'm pretty horrendous to look at. So.
And now you see them making bank on the big screen nowadays.
Sure, whatever. But
okay.
I just didn't know what you're talking about. But
fat kid from It.
Oh well. But yeah. So after that, I'm just like, I don't want to be an actor anymore. I'm not cut out for this. I'm too fat and ugly. So then I'm like, I just kind of like dropped all that and just went super try hard on basketball. Then I realized that basketball you have to exercise to do that. So I'm like,
and look at you now.
I don't want to do this. People kept making fun of me for always coming last doing the suicides. But, so, yeah.
I'd make fun of myself for coming last in suicides.
So, bottom line, I quit basketball after, like, about a year or two or whatever. And then, like, I don't know, I still, like, in the back of my head, I still, like, had a love for, like, the theatrical arts and stuff, but I just never emphasized it because, like, back then, like, my dad's gotten a lot better now, but, like, back then it was just, like, I don't care what you want. And my mom was always just like,
do what I want.
Pretty much. This is what you want. But
this ain't what you want. This ain't what you want. But this is what I want. This is what I want.
But yeah, then I don't know what it was specifically, but like because I always like after a while I'm like, you know, you hear voices on the radio and stuff. I'm like, you know, I wonder how that happens. Like, how do you just like, do they talk in front of a green screen or something? I was very stupid. I was a lot more dumb than I am now. I don't even know if that sentence made sense, but like
It did.
But yeah, I used to be a lot more stupid. So I'm like, what do they do? They're just like, snowball. They just talk in front of a green screen. They record it. Like, what do you do? And then, because I didn't know what voice acting was or whatever. And then I don't know what it was, but like, I played Persona back when I was
2.
Yeah, it was that when I was 2. But I played Persona 5 when I was, I think I had like just recently turned 18. And I got, no, because I got my PS4. Because
I was about to
as
say,
we established, my father refused to buy me one, so I had to buy one with my own money.
I was about to say it couldn't be that early because I was like 9. I was 19. That was my second year of college.
I think I got it when I was I just turned 19. I think I just turned 19 and I got my PS4.
That makes more sense, but I don't remember you talking about Persona when I was at LaGrange. That's probably
because you were always talking about your friends and I felt lonely.
And then they made an episode of MLP about that, I think.
Yeah, they did. But
which episode? But that was cool.
Yeah, I don't know what it was specifically, but like I was playing Persona and just like that just kind of like broke something in me. That was like, yo, what is this? Like this is nice. So I was like researching stuff. I'm like, oh, I can act without having people see my horrendous features. Like, wow. And then yeah, I'm just seeing how long I can self-deprecate myself until it eventually gets funny, which it never will. But you know,
what are you talking about? This is hilarious. I'm rolling on the floor right now.
But yeah. So I don't know what it was about Persona, but I'm just like, yo, I really want to do something like this. Like this is something I actually like, because at first I was going to college for game design. Just because I didn't have anything I knew, I don't know. I'm very unmotivated at everything, so I was just like, oh, I mean, I like playing games. So I mean, why not try making them? Then I realized that I don't like calculus, and that's a necessity. So I'm like, nah. So, yeah. Then I'm like, again, I don't know what it was, but I was just playing Persona. I'm just like, yo, this is different. Like, what is this? And I was like researching and stuff. And like, oh, voice acting is a whole thing. Like, there's a whole profession behind it. And it was just like, I don't know why. Like, ever since then, I've just been like super into voice acting. Like, I'm actually like motivated to do something with my life for once. So it's like, I don't know. But that's dream job, to voice in some Persona game in some way.
So back to Knights.
Yeah, go back to about 45 minutes ago when we started talking about Knights.
No, but basically,
I comparing Persona, Knights to Persona or whatever.
I was just gonna say that I wish that Sega would realize that Sonic is your flagship franchise, but you have other franchises that are good.
Nintendo makes stuff other than Mario.
Yeah, like
Sega
just
has classic Sonic.
Like you can, it's like, oh, dude, look, guys, it's a new Knight.
This could be a nice game. Instead of playing as Knights, we're playing as classic Sonic.
Damn, you took my joke. He's like, look, guys, it's Knights. Return of the Dream Eaters. Like, oh, dude, this is gonna be awesome. Why classic Sonic in my game? It's like, where's Knights?
It's hot in here.
Who? It's like, the person name is game after. Who? But yeah, since we're out here telling stories about how we discover what we want to do with our lives.
Yeah, how'd you discover that you want to be an anime?
So when I discovered that I wanted to be a voice actor,
you taking my job? See, that's another thing though. I feel like if we were both to become voice actors, I would hate it because I feel like we'd consistently be fighting over similar jobs.
See, but no, you see, like that could be a problem, but
look at this. This is disgusting.
And I know you're gonna hate me for saying this. Please forgive me for the mic. But it makes me more comfortable when I talk.
What am I gonna hate? What?
Brian was right. You have a really good voice for hyper characters.
I don't. That's
you
the thing.
Really do.
No, I don't.
Your hyper characters are so good.
Bro, this man has something against me. Every time I go to the training,
Got some fly honeys.
every time I go to this training, this man sets me up with the most hyperactive, most optimistic, positive person in the world. I'm like, sir, with all due respect, this is the exact opposite of who I am.
I mean, Mike Pollock isn't a madman who shoves animals inside a robot.
He's also not a cartoon. I realize I'm going against my own point.
I win. I win, Vegeta.
You win.
I lose. I lose, boy. It's over. It's over. Oh, that's a mess.
Isn't it?
Isn't it?
Copyright.
Isn't it over? No, but you see, that's something else I was going to talk about, like my character voices. But let me go ahead and tell how I decided I wanted to be an
How did
animator.
we get so far away from the original topic?
I don't know. Like just a second ago. Wait. Oh, so now you're not going to do it? I was trying to see if it's going to show up on the audio capture.
Oh, well.
But okay.
I mean, sure.
So, my.
Anyways, so
Okay, so it's not as noticeable on the audio capture, but that should be fine. So my story with the animation starts off unlike Tiego, nowhere near the field at all, because acting, like Mike said, it can lead into like your interest in voice acting. I did not know that, and I'm gonna sound stupid here.
I mean, hey, I made myself sound stupid a lot.
I didn't know that cartoons weren't actually real life. So
Now, let me ask you a question real quick. When did you ever in your young life walk around and see a 2D man on the street?
see, back in my day, none of the cartoons took place in Georgia, so I just assumed I was in the wrong state.
So what I'm hearing is you watched Danny Phantom and thought you would see Danny Phantom.
In Wisconsin, yes.
You thought you could fly it over halfway across the continent to go and visit Danny Phantom.
I also thought that if I tested my toys enough, I'd catch him moving.
You thought you could fly over to Mexico to meet El Tigre.
Heck yes! Okay, maybe not. I was past that point by the time that he came out, but the point still stands. I didn't know that cartoons weren't real life until like... What age was I? Because I know I
How
talked about
sheltered
this.
were you as a kid?
You see, Chris ruined everything for me, so I wasn't allowed to do anything. Take out that name, by the way. So anyway...
Spaghetti! Wouldn't let me do anything.
Please remember that. Please do. Why am I acting like the mic is hooked up to?
Please do.
Please remember that. But at a certain, like, after I realized that cartoons weren't real, I was like, wait, so people have to actually sit down and make this stuff. But how do they do that? And for a while I was like, well, you know what? I guess I'll never figure that out. So, but I know that I can draw. So they make comic
And then you had an
books.
epiphany.
Yeah, that was...
Wait a minute! Who are you?
But
Not real is what I am.
I was that kid who wrote Dear Santa, please bring me Sonic as my best friend. I got a
Dear
goldfish.
Santa,
But that was
I'd really love to visit Sonic one day. If you could make this happen, I'd really appreciate it.
okay, kid. Have fun on Mobius. But then I realized I can draw, and I know that people do that in the Sonic comic books that I like to read. Once again, I'm wrapping it back to Sonic. And I was like, so you know what? I'll just do that because this is the only way that I can see it. Maybe someone out in the world turns these comics into cartoons or whatever. But why isn't there a Sonic card? Why isn't there a Sonic card cartoon? I was not yet aware. I was not yet aware. I soon would be.
You weren't aware of Jaleel White's voice tone.
Oh no, I was not. So anyway, for years I was like, I'm just gonna be a comic book artist. I'm gonna work for Archie.
Do you remember those days when you said we used to think, what? You remember those days when we were younger and you, what am I
saying?
Yes,
Am I having a stroke?
I do.
You remember those days when we were younger, and you kept saying you wanted to be a comedian? I remember those. You had had it engraved in your mind that you were gonna be a comedian.
I do remember that, and okay, now that you've mentioned it, I do remember, and that came during the awkward point in between where I realized I don't want to make comics.
I just want to make people laugh for a living.
Exactly, and I was like, and people do that through stand-up, so I'm gonna be a comedian, and then I realized I wasn't funny.
You know, I think you. Yeah. At least you realized it before you embarrassed yourself.
Yeah, because I would get up there and be like, "Hey, I'm gonna tell jokes about."
Hey guys, did you hear the one about Big Mac? I mean, am I right?
I'm about to steal a joke from Salmonella because Tiego has never seen his channel. But he was like, "Hey, how's it going out there, guys? Have you guys have you guys heard of the band The Offspring?" Like, yeah. You're gonna go far, kid. Yeah, I'm just gonna go over there. But as I said, after I realized that comics isn't what I wanted to do, surprisingly, because I found out you'd have to draw the characters more than once. Jesus, the irony. So
Nice.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna be a comedian so I can make people laugh, because people laugh at me.
I mean,
so
to be fair, to be a comedian, you gotta write down some material. You gotta write down a lot of material.
Exactly. So I was like, well, people laugh at me, so I can just do that for a while.
Hey guys, faculty, am I right?
And this is where it starts to delve into cartoons. I saw that every comedian had like a shtick. Dave Chappelle told jokes about black people. George Lopez told jokes about Mexicans.
Pepper Clark told jokes about his dogs. No one's gonna get that reference, but at least someone did.
Pepper Clark is a monkey. But,
there's Pepper Clark on the floor.
yeah, that's Pepper Clark on the floor. But and Jeff Dunham, of course, his whole shtick was he used puppets. So then I was like, oh, I like cartoons. I'm gonna make stand-up routines about cartoons. And I was like, so
you were the pre-Berlizzi.
yeah. So
It's a shame you didn't capitalize.
Yeah, I was gonna have one stand-up routine and never show up again because I would have no new material. But after a while, I was like, oh man, I really like watching these cartoons. And then I sort of phased out writing the comedy part, and I was just like, I'm just gonna watch these cartoons like I was before I started. I for a large portion of my life, I really didn't know what I was going to do. I was literally living out. Okay, not living out. You'll play your part, because Twilight actually had a freaking job.
I mean, she's not getting paid.
I had to stop myself. She actually had a freaking job.
Freaking job.
But then that's when I discovered it. Sonic X. And I was like, wait a minute. You told me years ago, life parted the clouds. I ain't tell you nothing. Like, you told me years ago that Sonic didn't have a cartoon.
Someday.
And then I was like, yo, this is awesome. I was like, wait, if there's a Sonic X, there has to be more, right?
There has to be a Sonic Y.
It's like,
where's the Sonic Z?
Actually, that's how I found out about Sonic Project XXX.
You know, you probably shouldn't. Okay.
Hey, it's okay. Just put a spaghetti over that. So
Sonic Project Spaghetti.
I'm pretty sure some of you know about that. You guys are old
Someone
enough.
has to. I mean,
But then I was like, oh Jesus, why can't I look away? But but then I was like, there has to be other Sonic cartoons out there. Do 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 do. There's something missing. Something's not quite right.
Quite right.
Something's not quite right.
Young editors.
Young bright.
Mobile Doom is now
Mobile doomed. Man, that's offensive. But But then I was like, yo, there's so many Sonic cartoons. There must be another one for now, right? And then I realized there was quite literally nothing. And I was like, I realize what's going on now. I was like, now, when I was young, I was like super religious. Like, I'm still...
Oh, same.
Like, I'm still religious now, but it's like, it's more like, it's not up front. It's like in the passenger seat, where like, I know that this is my religion and there are things that happen. I'm not going to force it upon you. Let's just skip this part. So anyway, when I was young, I was like, that's it. I finally figured out what God wants me to do. It's my duty to bring Sonic back to TV with a new cartoon.
Imagine thinking your God-given duty was to bring back Sonic.
And I was like, I'm gonna make the next Sonic cartoon to premiere on TV.
And then Sonic Boom did it better.
I guarantee you, I would have never made anything as amazing as Sonic Boom. That show was godsend. God originally did give me that plan, but he realized I'd mess it up, so he gave it to Aaron Weber. He was like, nope, there you go. Go make How to Tube. I don't know.
Do something else.
Do something about YouTube. Get. Why did I make you? So. But so for years I was like trying to hone my craft, like trying to learn how to draw, trying to draw the perfect Sonic. I took a lot of inspiration.
You remember your old Amy picture on the DS, or was it the DS? See, that's what gives me. That's actually that's what gives me hope for a lot of stuff. Like, you actually, like, not gonna lie, you do Sonic characters, like, you draw Sonic characters really well nowadays. And like, looking back on like those first drawings, I'm like, how bad I am now is just like, wow, I can improve a lot.
I recently found the very first picture of Sonic I ever drew. Looked like Timmy Turner. I don't know how I messed up that much. I'm like, I'm gonna draw Sonic. This is a Timothy Turner. Never kid. No one understands. Whoa! But I spent years trying to learn how to draw the perfect Sonic, or my style of Sonic, or whatever it was, because like, I have to do this right so I can animate him well. And I guess I should mention at that point, that's not when I learned that cartoons were made by real people. I learned that like before I even became...
Cartoons are made by aliens, that's what it is. Cartoons are made by aliens.
They technically are. That's a Terry Strong joke right there. I'll be here all
You better
night.
block that out.
But
I want to actually find work.
You're right. That's why we're deleting all
I
season
am
1.
hungry.
Don't worry, we'll hit up the Zaxby's after this.
You know I'm trying to do better.
Don't worry, we'll hit up the salad bar after this. Don't worry, we'll hit up the...
I don't have money either, that's another thing. I'm living like paycheck to paycheck already.
Hey man, I feel you. But anyway, that's when I decided... I had already decided. I was drawing Sonic every day. Took a lot of inspiration from Tracy Yardley, who is still a god amongst men when it comes to drawing Sonic. But slowly but surely, I started branching out from Sonic because Tiego remembers this. In the early days of MLP, oh my god,
you are a monster.
I was now take that and apply it to Sonic.
Bro, you drew Fluttershy on a chalkboard with some chalk, and I'll give it to you. It was really accurate. It was really good. But then, I mean, it was, yeah, it was for like the time.
Oh yeah, you're right.
But like, then I'm not gonna name drop him, but someone came up. It was in the lock-in. Someone, you know who it was. Someone came up and erased it. Bro, you turned into a whole football player. You turned into like the best hockey player in the world. You body checked that man so hard, bro. Like literally, it was like a Newton ball. Like you hit him over here, he flew across the room. all because he partially erased Fluttershy's head. It was pretty funny though.
Dang,
You used to be a fiend.
Oh, believe me, it was worse when it was with Sonic, because history is Oh my gosh, history is quite literally repeating itself. So first it was Sonic. I was like on top of the world. Sonic was inserted into every conversation. As the years went on, sort of died down. Yeah, Sonic
like
is cool, but yeah, he's my favorite. MLP was introduced. As these 9 years went on, I slowly started to calm down. Yada yada yada. This and that. Doki Doki Literature Club is introduced.
That is another thing you were fiending on.
It was.
R.
We have recently reached. No, its second birthday is in. How many days? It's in 6 days. In 6 days. It's the second anniversary of DDLC. Dan Salvato has
I
said.
think you did some well. I heard second anniversary and I was about to walk out.
It's the second anniversary of DDLC. Quick side note: Dan has said they're not doing anything DDLC related for a while because they're busy. We're working on their own original stuff.
That's a man who doesn't want to make money.
And I feel for him because I'm out here like, hey, I really want to work on how to tube. I feel like this is what I was put on this earth to do. Hey, did you know that Pillow put out a new stock tail video? You should go and you should go and wait, but Brandon, you need to but Brandon,
Where was that from?
that was from. Okay, so I recently found out that it's actually from the movie Carrie about the girl who.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that. Okay.
Apparently, the mom didn't want her to go to prom. She's like, "Mom, I have to go," and she's like, "No, they're all gonna laugh at you." As she pulled her by her hair into the room, and then Adam Sandler made a bit where the mom actually had a healthy family, and that was her response to everything that.
No!
Yes. Hey, Mom. So I have a date tomorrow.
No!
Is it alright for you to go? No! But Mom, they're all gonna laugh at you. But Mom, they're all gonna laugh at you. No!
550 deluxe with
No cheese. There are some gems on my old channel.
Crush those gems.
This is the part of the podcast where we just divulge into references and nothing else. Let me finish my story before we get back on more references. But yeah, where was I? Comics, comedian, cartoons, making Sonic, and then as
your phases.
Okay.
DDLC phase.
Okay, I was going through phases where I was like, okay, I started to calm down with Sonic, and then I started introducing myself into more types of cartoons. That's when I discovered anime. Oh boy! Oh boy! It's Halloween!
Don't encourage them.
I hate how good I am at that.
Don't encourage
because
them.
everyone's gonna be like, Monkey!
Is this
Monkey!
foreshadowing?
Is this foreshadowing to a Brandon Pello collaboration? They don't know. They don't know. You have no idea. But I'm almost done with the audio track for episode 1. I'll send it to you when I finish it. I also got
How
to.
bad was I?
You were probably the second best person on the track.
And that's sad because I felt I did terrible.
Dang. And I say the second best, but that just implies all of us sucked.
Well,
The best person was Night of Breath.
what'd you say was the one? Did you say?
Shut up. I'm debating on whether or not we should.
Cut that.
I'm debating on whether or not we should have her sing songs for the actual show. But then I'd actually
You have
have.
to actually pay them.
I would actually have to write songs, and I'm not Daniel Ingram. I never will be.
Anyways,
so
would you count Undertale as a phase?
oh, most definitely. Oh yeah, that came way before DDLC.
Yeah.
But yeah, Undertale was a big phase in my life.
Remember the time you just ripped off that whole guy's video and you just added your part to it?
Oh, believe me, I did. I do. I sure do.
Could be a crime.
If I had to go back on the premise that is made for you, so don't step over that line.
Or else, friend, you're gonna have a bad time.
See, kids like you can be so cruel.
And girls like me, it ain't easy to be played for fools. So
Come on!
let the room get chiller.
Let's go, dirty brother killer. Go ahead and try to hit me.
Okay, stop.
Are we bringing it back?
I won't lie. I've been listening to it. It is kind of fire.
You. It is.
Kind of fire.
Oh, you don't have face camera thing, but just.
It is kind of fire. Maybe. So with different phases, I started to draw different things, and then but slowly but surely, I noticed that there were some things that when I would transition to the next phase, it would be like, oh, I'm still doing that thing from my last phase. Like, for instance, to this day, no matter who I draw, they always have giant Sonic Riders hands.
That is very true.
Have you seen the hands for Sonic Riders?
I have. Their hand will be like.
Someone at Sega heard the hand should be the same size as the face.
So they just enlarge the face.
Drew Sonic's face a little bit too big, and they were like, I can work with it. But yeah, and then when I was in my anime phase, almost all my characters still have like terribly drawn Dragon Ball Z eyes.
Jet.
Hey! Even without wings, I can still fly! He messed up on that line, and you could hear Jet, and I was like,
really?
wow, yeah, he voiced both of them.
I know he did voice both of them. I just didn't know he messed up on it.
Yeah, he's like, even without wings, I can still fly! Right? He tried to correct it.
Right?
He tried to correct it with the next line. He's like, right? But yeah, with each phase I went through, it helped me develop my art style, and that slowly but surely helped me like reach the point where you
wanna rethink that?
I kid you not, when I was going through my YouTube phase and I did my 1 year anniversary video where I did a speed paint of everyone who I believe helped me get to that point.
That was that long?
Yeah. That's when I came up with the characters, the character designs for How to Tube, but I didn't know that they would be them until like 6 months later, when I was riding in the car with my mom, and I was like, oh man, I've been thinking of a show called How to Tune, where it's like concepts.
It used to be that,
yeah, where concepts for cartoon characters go to school and learn from like the big shots of cartoons how to do it. And I was like, but I just don't feel like it will work. Well, I mean, like I could do it like YouTube, How to Tune. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. And the story basically writes itself from there. However, this is a part of the story too, like with animation, my interest in voice acting didn't start until my DDLC phase. I can't believe I just called it DDL. Well, I mean, it's better than calling it by its full name. That's gross. It's like unironically calling MLP My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. If you do that, you're one of those guys who goes to McDonald's and sings the theme song with a group of people.
Calling it Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir.
Just
saying all that is just saying Miraculous Ladybug.
Yeah, just be like, just.
I'm actually very surprised. I never knew the title. I literally just kind of like blurted something out, and I'm pretty sure that's what the title is.
Yeah, it's Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir. Lady. But when I got into DDLC, that's the portion of YouTube where I started to become very self-conscious about being on camera. I say self-conscious, but it was also a mixture of laziness because I didn't want to be on camera. That's more to edit. But anyway, when I got into DDLC, and I was like, I'm actually going to have to give these characters voices now.
That's where it started.
And sure, I had delved with Papyrus, but I was like, that's just a meme. It's fine.
$1 million view meme.
But then when I decided to give that voice to her, I was like, hey, it's a callback to a meme just to mess with Tiego, right? But then I realized that the more I acted out when I read her lines,
I have to restrain myself from saying things.
Sorry guys, Tiego almost died. Is that family friendly to say that you almost died?
You get one.
So,
that was the one for the entire series. We wasted it on episode 1.
I can never say that word again. But the more I started to act out with these characters and like actually, I guess I was prematurely doing things that they taught us in the voice acting class. But the more I did it, I was like, this feels so good. Because I'm pretty sure we all have this when you talk and you're like, man, I sound good, but then someone plays the recording back and you're like, wow, I sound bad. I prepared a whole analogy in my head that would have got us demonetized.
It's a shame.
Don't worry, we'll put it in the unedited version. But it just felt right, and up until that point, I thought my voice wasn't good enough to do anything in my own shows. I thought I was just going to be the drawing guy, and then just
Or you
have...
thought that. You kicked me off because I was so bad.
No, okay.
You still hold the mic as if it's doing something. Just
I'm gonna drop some heavy bombs on you. It's not because I thought you were bad.
You straight up told me you suck.
Yeah, I lied to you.
You straight up told me, like literally, you're like, you know what? I can't see anyone else doing the lines of Tiego, so you know what? You do it. I did my lines, and you texted me. You're just like, yeah, you know, you suck at voice acting, so I'm gonna find someone else. And I was just like, yeah, I know. But in my head, I was crying.
Okay, so here's the thing. The real reason for why I told you that is
Skill character.
It's going to sound worse than what I told you. It's because I didn't like the idea of you and I not being able to work together in the voice acting department.
So what I'm hearing is
that
we both auditioned for like, I don't even know. Let's say there's Flintstones. They're gonna bring that back. We both auditioned, and I get like, I don't know, Bam Bam. But because you didn't get it, you're gonna sabotage me to make sure that I don't get the role.
I kill you.
It's like so Brandon, what part did you get? Oh, actually, they never call me back. It's like, oh really? Oh man, you know, I actually got Bam Bam. You know? Did you know? really know?
Hey, where's your wife? I need to talk to her. Oh man, now you can't voice act because you have to go to a funeral. Oh man.
It's a real shame, isn't it? Nah.
Don't worry. We'll get the next lines.
We'll
get the next characters.
Don't tell me.
But yeah, I was just stupid and selfish back then.
I feel like it was probably a good mix of it, because even looking back on it now, I'm still pretty bad, but like, if I'm bad and I'm saying that's bad, you gotta realize it's bad.
But after a while, like, I think that happened a little bit before the DDLC phase, because I'd been working on How the Tube for a while.
Yeah.
That was back when you still had your like
Flat top.
Yeah, I think, or I think on the show you still had like your buzz cut hair, or whatever it's called.
I've never had a buzz cut.
Whatever it's called, just flat.
Flat.
just like you. But as I started to discover that my voice isn't as bad as I thought it was, because someone out there is always going to like your voice more than you like
That's a lie.
your own. That is a fact.
When I come across it, then I'll say it's a fact. Until then, that's a lie.
Imagine someone... No, because Brian!
No!
You don't remember...
We don't have face cam.
You don't remember Brian? Where he was like, wow, you are really good.
Yeah, but then I went to the animation class and he's like,
That was because we froze. Okay. Basically, end of my story.
Shout out Brian, by the way. You're the real one.
Animation got me to where I am today. I want to do animation. That's the crux of this story.
We spent a whole 1 hour talking about your story when you complain about me talking for half an hour about mine.
TLDR, I want to be an animator. And voice act in my own stuff. It took me a while, but I finally learned to love my voice. But anyway...
You copied. I'm telling the teacher.
I quit. I drop out.
See, I feel like now I can't do it anymore because it's just going to be like another example of us doing the same thing.
No, you see, because voice acting isn't it's not my passion. it's just something I thought I couldn't do, and it just feels good to be like, I can do it.
Must be nice.
You can. I almost said it. Brian complimented you hands down, and let me tell you.
I told again. That was before we took the animation.
Okay. Cutting back to what we were doing.
Yes, I may go check on him.
Yes,
I was waiting for you to get it.
And with that being said, don't watch The Secret Life of the Johnsons or whatever.
Strange thing about the Johnsons.
Oh, the strange thing about the Johnsons. Don't
watch it.
Just
please.
don't. But anyway, cutting back to what we were saying before, I believe it was yesterday you were saying that I only have 4 voices.
I mean,
that's it.
I make fun of you.
No, but it was like, and I'm finally able to vocalize why it comes out like that and why we can joke about it. It's because it's exactly what happened at Animation Voiceover. Like, I have a repertoire of voices that I could use. For example,
you just defaulted on 4 for no reason.
For example, in the Pokemon Academy Life episodes, there are so many voices I could do.
I mean,
nobody has Mr. Incredible yet. But the thing is,
see, I mean, I feel like that's a little different because what we're doing is just like
it's just
bad impressions.
It's just messing around.
It's not like we're coming up with voices specific to us. It's like I feel like what we're doing is just badly impersonating people.
See, but the thing is, like, it starts off like that, but then those actually become your voices.
I mean, like, I feel like you
like Vegeta.
Blur this out. But well, the name at least. Like you, it started off as you just like making fun of yourself, but now you was like, and then you start making fun of Mr. Gary, and now it's like that's kind of like you. That's one thing that you have under your belt. That's one voice you got on your belt.
How's it going? I hope he watches this podcast.
Whereas like with me, all I do is just like I'm just doing a bad Vegeta impression, a bad Trunks impression.
Okay, so I will admit the Trunks one, you can't mistake that for Trunks. That's actually just Trunks. But the Vegeta one,
it's just
if you pull that off in front of someone who's like, let's say,
who hasn't seen Dragon Ball?
No, like.
What?
No, like...
Is that what you're trying to tell me in front of someone who hasn't seen Dragon Ball?
No, like, you just walk up to, like you just walk up and be like, hey, boy! They won't know that that's supposed to be Vegeta without you saying it. So you can just say, oh, yeah, that's just a voice that I came up with.
Yo, I was watching Dragon Ball one day, and I came up with this voice right here, boy!
No, I
was watching Dragon Ball, and I came up with this voice, boy!
Mention Dragon Ball! Now you've outed yourself! You've done this to yourself. You had it.
I played myself.
Yes.
Congratulations.
You played.
What was that DJ Khaled book? Like something from Success? It was
Suffering from Success. It's like, how's it going? No, like, that's like me walking in the booth. Oh, like, okay, give us a...
You know, we need a guy who thinks he's better than his rival, but he's not. He's second best. At best. Go. Boy!
Oh, when a difficult day goes by. You're perfect. So is that voice based off of?
It's Vegeta.
Is that voice based off of anyone? No.
No, boy.
No, boy. God dang. But like, the thing I was gonna say is like the reason why I always default to those 4 is because 1, those are the one that got me started on, hey, I want to do voices. And 2, it's because when I freeze up, my brain shuts off.
You know what I'm really upset at?
What?
I'm upset that I didn't get into voice acting sooner because
you could have been.
I was.
No, you couldn't. Wait, what?
I was what? 0 when Dragon Ball came out?
You were still a sperm.
But, because what really got me upset is I was playing Pokemon. And it was X and Y. And Greninja came out, and I'm sitting here, I'm like, that was still when I was like low-key about voice acting or whatever, so I'm sitting here, I'm like, what kind of voice would Greninja have? And so I'm sitting here, I'm like, well, he's a frog.
How's it going, everybody?
Greninja, water shuriken. But, I was like, well, he's a frog, so I mean, they live in water sometimes, so I'll just like make his voice sound like he's like constantly gurgling water. And then I'm like, it's like, and then like I kind of like played off of his like sound clips and stuff from like the whatever. So I'm like, Maybe I can do something with this. And basically, what my Greninja voice was basically what they have in Smash Bros. Now. So I'm like, nice. It's like I'm sitting here, I'm doing my Greninja impression. I play Smash Bros. I see the Greninja release trailer. I'm just like, but that's what I did.
Sakurai had a microphone outside your window. They just didn't credit you. He's like, oh, we just found these sound clips.
Who does
Tiego Pop-Up. Wait! Where's my royalty check? You no get royalty check.
What?
Sorry, I couldn't think because I bumped my tooth on the...
Royalty check.
I hope I didn't chip my tooth. Oh my god. Oh, like...
Billy Bob Thompson. Who? Billy Bob Thompson. Let's see who this is. What are you doing?
Roll it.
Lie.
Whose bright idea was it to give Raichu Lie?
Lie.
I feel like I should have gotten a hint at voice acting.
This is your Greninja.
He looks like a Greninja. He looks like a whole frog.
No.
He looks like the frog that Tom Holland is always hiding.
He did
hiding
voice something in Welcome to the Wayne.
Oh, you mean that show that lasted like 2 episodes?
Yes.
They were like, this is gonna be our
He
answer.
was red and Greninja?
He was like, this is gonna be our answer to Gravity Falls. Yeah, well, no one's gonna pick up the phones. We're here to talk to you about the better Gravity Falls. Hello? Hello? Someone there? Tapping the phone makes them answer.
Yeah, that actually got me like a little heated just because I'm like, yo, if I had just like actually been confident in myself for once, which still hasn't happened.
And then you just fly out to Japan and be like, hey guys.
What? What was that?
I tried to do Greninja, but
literally like literally
my brain was like Raichu.
Like my thought process was literally just like, okay, he's a frog, so just act like you're in water. So I'm like, well, that's not. I'm like, well, that's not gonna work. So like, make it like high pitch or something. So I'm like, wait a minute, I might be honest. So I'm like, wait a minute, that might be something. So I'm like, I'm just doing all that and stuff. I'm just like, like what happened? I stubbed my toe. So I was getting out of bed, to go to the bathroom, stubbed my toe. I'm like, I was just like messing around my bed.
That was his start. That was his start. RKO.
So I stubbed my toe. I was just like messing around with that voice earlier. So I'm sitting here, and I'm just like, wait a minute, that sounded familiar. And I just couldn't put my finger on what it was. And then I went back to playing Pokemon X and Y. And then I was thinking in my head when I got back from the bathroom, I was like, I forgot what I was doing. Dang. So I'm like, I'm sitting here, I'm like, well, there's an M on my screen, so I'm just like, I'm like, no, that doesn't work. And then I'm like, and then I'm just like, I just see the Greninja, I'm like, and I'm just like, wait a minute, that's just the start. And like, I heard the Star KO, I'm just like, that's what I did, and I was like,
Die.
it's pretty much like literally all it is, like,
I really should have caught on to that.
Come on to what?
I really should have caught on
Let me hear Greninja Star KO.
to the
Just to see how
fact
accurate it was.
that voice acting might be a venture I could take when everyone was telling me that my Mickey Mouse was like stupid good for no reason.
See, I had the exact opposite. I was in middle school and I sat next to this.
Uh-huh.
I sat next to this.
Beautiful girl.
I wish.
Minnie. You got my money? What do you mean it's between your ham and cheese curtains?
But so this boy who I didn't like.
Boy.
I've told this before, I think, but like, literally I was talking to him. We used to be like pretty good friends back in back in 6th grade. I didn't talk to him all 7th grade. 8th grade comes along. I was talking to him. He's like, "Bro, your voice is mad annoying. You need to stop talking." I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay.
So yeah.
Frick you too.
So like literally every day I said something, he would always like interrupt me and be like, "Yo, your voice is annoying. You need to stop talking." I'm like,
So is this your quirk? So
annoying to a player. His quirk.
repeatedly telling someone to be quiet. That's another voice I really like. Okay, out of all of the DDLC voices I ever did, I think I'm most grateful for Sayori's. Because I don't know if you remember when we first started, just like, hey, I'm Sayori. Yo, we should get Aaron Hansen on this, dude.
I feel like I don't watch him well enough to like actually like.
But you can ask him questions about being a voice actor because that's basically what he is. You don't have to ask him about game. You can ask him that question you were going to ask Mike. Like, so, Aaron, I have a question for you. So this is why you brought me on, huh?
On Aaron's.
I want to get Danny from Game Grumps. Now, I'm just putting this out here. It's probably not going to happen, but it's something I dreamt about, and I really want it to happen. I want to one day be big enough to have Danny from Game Grumps do a cover of the How to Tube theme song.
Well, if you pay him enough.
Hey, Danny, do you want to cover this? No.
Hey, you want to go? No.
Oh gosh, but dang. Is this the end of the Just Talk podcast season 2 premiere?
I don't know. It might be. I mean, unless you have anything else to say.
I have nothing else to say. I just wanted to talk. You know what? We're gonna have this as the discussion in the comments. Even though I know no one got to this, you guys probably came from Diddly Do Renewed, listened to the Mike interview, and then left. But
Or just listen to the Mike interview and left.
yeah, that's basically. Oh, you know what? You're absolutely right. Because someone was probably scrolling through YouTube like, Mike Pollock. Okay, he's done. Dislike.
Yeah. They didn't ask him my question.
I did. Everyone who kept asking me, have him quote the thing from Piss on the Moon. No, shut up. He has literally gone on record saying that he won't do it. Because, like, Eggman is a family-friendly character who threatened to pack Zeddies into a box while they were still alive. But you know what? It's fine. I want to find the whole rant. I'm just going to play it. Like, it's not copyrighted or anything. Oh, here's a good question. Why haven't you watched the Steven Universe movie yet? I just need you to rant so I can do it.
I have way too much on my plate. Like, between school and work, I don't have time for myself at all. Like, literally, the only time I have time to myself is like 11 on, and I'm usually with one of my friends streaming with him. So it's just like I don't go to bed till like 3 every night.
Damn, I was hoping that would be long enough.
No, I mean I don't really.
Found it.
I don't do a lot besides school work and.
That was cool. Pun entirely in.
Can we get Roger Craig Smith for the season finale? Since
I wish.
No. So the season premiere was Mike Pollock. The season finale needs to be Roger Craig Smith. If we do that, then that means we can do anything except be animators and voice actors.
Yeah. How did you come from Papa John's to Sonic?
That's actually a pretty good question. I love this so much. Mike did such a good job. I'll get fat from eating your fat hearts, you Eggman wannabes.
We get stronger and stronger as we leech the life from your dying world.
Man, they really do like Zavok, don't they?
They really do. I don't know why.
Your world's dead, guys.
Your world's dead, guys.
You've been dead too.
What do you think they gave him for voice? They just showed him a picture of Zaz.
I mean,
You rebellious scum. I will destroy everything you love and make you watch.
Mike did such a good job on that scene too. That is the scene that submitted me as an Eggman fan. Too bad it came from an awful game.
Well, this is going to just start chaos. Yeah, just grand knee.
You. Who's your favorite Zeddy? Xena, because she's a female.
Try it.
No.
No.
Who? Do you have a favorite Zeddy, or do you just dislike them in general?
It's not that I don't. It's not that I dislike them. I just don't like anyone in particular.
I like Zaz because of his intro from the Sonic
Bros.
Dash app.
Sonic, oh yeah. He's like
Gonna beat you like a drum. I was like, yo, that's cool.
That's some like manic type thing.
Yeah. He's just manic, isn't he?
He got drunk too.
And he got killed off after the first stage. He's manic.
Move it down.
Zaz got killed off after the first stage, and Manic got killed off after the first stage of life.
I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry.
Hey man, well, I mean...
I don't have money either.
Hey man, if you're hungry, we can get something off the dollar menu at McDonald's.
Actually, I hate McDonald's.
I'll get you a salad from Publix. I'll get you a haircut.
If anyone needs a haircut, it is definitely your
Eat your hair. Nappy head.
Your Birch Sass.
So with that being said, leave a comment down below. But yeah, thank you all for joining us for the Season 2 premiere of the Just Talk podcast.
Now we have another hour. Let's say we're working on covers.
I have yet to finish the podcast. Come on, man. So with that being said, leave a comment down below letting us know what you would like us...
The microphone's not on.
Shut up! Let me do me! Dang, Queen! What's the opposite of Yas? Nas.
Nas X.
Lil Nas. Alright, so yeah, thank you for joining us for the Season 2 premiere. With that being said, leave a comment down below letting us know what you would like to see us talk about next time. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified of the next time that we upload. Don't forget to join the Discord server and check out the merch in the description. And hey, why don't you go ahead and donate to the Patreon to help How to Tube come out sooner?
Because we're all broke.
Absolutely. And with that being said, until next time,
goodbye!
I forgot you do goodbye. I keep on dreaming, guys. We talked to Mike Pollock.
You did?